Hi guys, what's up? And spoiler alert if you know what Breaking Bad. So I was watching a Breaking Bad reaction recently by Scoot. So it's just a YouTube video channel I stumbled on. So that's the video playing in the background now. So finally, like he got to a part that everybody will know where Walter White says, "I'm the one who knocks," to Skylar. So that part, before I watched Breaking Bad, right? I was working and people were always talking about it. Everybody in the office, they were always talking about Breaking Bad, how awesome the show was, and everything like that. And there was a part that was always quoted. I'm the one who knocks. So they quote it as the most badass scene, or not necessarily the most badass scene, but the most badass line that encapsulates what Walter turned into. So when I started watching the show, that kind of thing where they've hyped up a certain part and you're looking forward to it. So I kept watching the show. And when I got to that point, honestly, it was underwhelming because the picture that was painted, funny enough, the person that captures that picture of what um, I thought Walter White would be was actually Gus. So it was actually Gustavo that I that's the impression I got from how they described Walter. Because for me, even at the point where um, he said, "I'm the one who knocks." Now, the reason why I'm mentioning the reaction channel Scoot, he also had the same reaction. I was like, when I watched it, I was like, finally, someone that actually feels the same way I do about this scene. Like, it wasn't like I get the essence of the line, but it just didn't feel as hyped up. Maybe if I had not heard about it before the show, it wouldn't have stood out to me as odd. But when I got there, I was like, oh, so this is the scene. I thought at that scene he would maybe was like holding a gun to someone's head and was like, "I'm the one who knocks," and he just boom, shot the person. But he was just talking to his wife, and it was even after a vulnerable moment where he was drinking the night before and he got the cops essentially back on his tail because of his ego. He'd want to allow someone else take the credit of being a genius and being the one that created the crystal. So, but yeah, I was just like, Gustavo is the kind of character I had in mind when people described Walt those days before I watched the show. Like someone that looks humble, someone that is an everyday person, just a um, fast food restaurant owner, but behind the scenes he's cold as hell. So that's the thing for me. Um, Walter still had a lot of fears, like he was juggling two personalities. So which made him more, would I use the word? I don't know if relatable is the best word, but more human. So Gus was more like a T-3000 or a Terminator, like as if he didn't have any emotion. He seemed very robotic. But that was the description, the way people hyped up Walt. That's what I was expecting. I didn't expect someone that was juggling things and still, in a way, fighting his emotions and not coming to terms that he wasn't a good person. It just made me appreciate the premise more because the show brings out a fact that it's not that the drug dealing or the cancer or entering that world is what made Walt a bad person and full of ego. You now look back and realize he has always been full of ego, even before the sickness. He was never a, I don't want to say he was never a good person because even people that are considered good, if you put them in certain situations, a side of them will also come out. But yeah, it just showed that he was always an egotistical person. This situation just brought it out in him properly. But yeah, essentially that's just what I wanted to talk about.